All right, you guys, the time has finally come to discuss my physical TBR, as well as my reading challenge and all of the books that I want to finish before the end of this year. And let me tell you, this is going to be quite the challenge. Here is Miss Luna. We just got done playing outside with her ball. Isn't she just so cute? Like, look at that face. How could you just not love her? Okay, so I have actually had this big stack of books for a while now, but there's a reason why I haven't read them yet. So I have 6 books here, 6 physical copies of books that are on my list to finish before the end of the year. And the reason why I haven't read them yet is I've actually been waiting for the fall/winter season to read them because I'm a mood reader. And what I mean by that is I don't want to read such like a dark book like this. It's called Dark Matter in the middle of summer. Like summer is like fun and bright and beautiful. And I would rather read a book like this, you know, the cover like this, when the weather matches the cover and matches the mood of the book. I know that might sound silly to other people, but it's just the way my brain works. So let's go through the stack so I can talk to you guys about each book, and then maybe you'll find one on this list that you want to read as well. So the first one is by Kathleen Glasgow, and it is called How to Make Friends with the Dark. I read 2 books earlier this year by Kathleen Glasgow. One was called Girl in Pieces and one was called You'd Be Home by Now, and they were both very good. Very sad, but very good reads. So the back of this says, Tiger's life changed with a simple phone call. Your mom died. That's when darkness descended on her otherwise average existence. Tiger's mom never talked about her father, and Tiger has no other relatives to speak of. So her world is packed into a suitcase and she's moved to a foster home. Then another, until hope surfaces in the shape of a sister. Sometimes family comes in forms you don't recognize, but can Tiger learn to make friends with the dark before it swallows her whole? Something about this just feels like October to me. This book is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, and this is a prequel to The Hunger Games. And so I know that I'm going to read this book specifically in November because I want to read this like days or even like a week before the movie comes out, because I want it to be really fresh in my mind so I can compare the two. Maybe I should make a vlog where I compare the book to the movie. And so the back says, ambition will fuel him, competition will drive him, but power has its price. So obviously that's going to be about President Snow. And from what I have been told about this book is that it is about President Snow and how he came to his power, like how he became president. The inside of this book says, it is the morning of the reaping that will kick off the 10th annual Hunger Games. Oh, I thought the Hunger Games didn't exist yet. Like I thought he was part of the creation of the Hunger Games, but okay, clearly I'm wrong. In the capital, 18-year-old, how do you say his name? Coriolanus? We're gonna call him Corio. Corio Snow is preparing for his one shot at glory as a mentor in the games. So was he never in the games? He just became a mentor? That's interesting. The once mighty House of Snow has fallen on hard times. Its fate hanging on the slender chance that Corio will be able to outcharm, outwit, and outmaneuver his fellow students to mentor the winning tribute. The odds are against him. He's been given the humiliating assignment of mentoring the female tribute from District 12, the lowest of the low. Okay, that is so interesting because, okay, I guess this is a spoiler, but the Hunger Games has been out forever. It ends up being Katniss from District 12 who takes him down. So that's like very interesting that it's like a full circle, like District 12, District 12. Okay, anyway. Outside the arena, Corio starts to feel for his doomed tribute and must weigh his need to follow the rules against his desire to survive no matter what it takes. I'm very excited to read this book, but I just feel like I need to wait until the movie comes out in November. Okay, so that's 2 right there. All right, let's talk about these 2 next. So Dark Matter and One of Us is back. So I think I kind of want to wait till maybe I'll read these in September. These feel like good books to like start fall with. Dark Matter is by Blake Crouch, and the back of the book says, are you happy with your life? Those are the last words Jason Destin hears before the kidnapper knocks him unconscious, before he awakens to find himself strapped to a gurney surrounded by strangers in hazmat suits, before a man he's never met smiles down at him and says, welcome back, my friend. In this world he's woken up to, Jason's life is not the the one he knows. His wife is not his wife, his son was never born, and Jason is not an ordinary college professor, but a celebrated genius who has achieved something remarkable, something impossible. Is it this life or the other that's the dream? Oh my gosh, that is so trippy. Even if the home he remembers is real, how will Jason make it back to the family he loves? Okay, that sounds so crazy. And then this book, One of Us Is Back, I actually have a signed copy of it, which I just think is really cool. I got this from my local bookstore, and it is the third book in the One of Us Is Lying series. I don't really know if I want to read like the inside of this to tell you guys what this is about, because it might spoil the first two books, but I guess what I can say is that the series as a whole is about these 6 different kids in high school, and they all end up in detention one day, and Simon, who is one of the kids, he ends up dying in detention, and so all of the kids who are in detention are being framed for his murder, and then you find out what really happens and all of that like by the end of the books. Anyways, I think this is the third and final book to the series. Yeah, I would highly recommend this one if you're looking for like a young adult mystery thriller. We have the last 2 books on my list. So this is what's hard, because this feels like a September read to me because of the trees and it just looks like the start of fall. But this with the snow looks like a winter read. And I want to read these books for the same video. So I'm going to have to try and decide when I want to read these. The Writing Retreat. I know this book is a thriller. It says Alex has all but given up on her dreams of becoming a published author when she receives a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Attend an exclusive month-long writing retreat at the estate of feminist horror writer Rosa Vallow. Even the knowledge that Ren, her former best friend and current rival, is attending doesn't dampen her excitement. But when, oh my gosh, there's like a fly. Go away. But when the attendees arrive, Rosa drops a bombshell. They must all complete an entire novel from scratch during the next month, and the author of the best one will receive a life-changing 7-figure publishing deal. Determined to win this seemingly impossible contest, Alex buckles down and tries to ignore the strange happenings with the estate, including Rosa's erratic behavior, Ren's cruel mind games, and the alleged haunting of the mansion itself. But when one of the writers vanishes during a snowstorm, Alex realizes that something very sinister is afoot. With the clock running out, she must discover the truth or suffer the same fate. Wow, that'll be fun. And then, okay, the last book that I have on here is Credence by Penelope Douglas. I did read Penelope Douglas's book Birthday Girl. I actually read it right around my birthday, and I did really enjoy it. So, the back of this book says, Tiernan de Haas doesn't care about anything anymore. The only child of a film producer and his starlet wife, she's grown up with wealth and privilege, but not love or guidance. Shipped off to a boarding school from an early age, it was still impossible to escape the loneliness and carve out a life of her own. The shadow of her parents' fame followed her everywhere. And when they suddenly pass away, she knows she could be devastated, but has anything really changed? She's always been alone, hasn't she? Jake Vanderberg, her father's stepbrother and her only living relative, assumes guardianship of Tiernan, who is still too much shy of 18. Sent to live with him and his 2 sons, Noah and Caleb, in the mountains of Colorado, Tiernan soon learns that these men now have a say in what she chooses to care and to not care about anymore. As the 3 of them take her under their wing, teach her to work and survive in the remote woods far away from the rest of the world, she slowly finds her place among them and as a part of them. And she also realizes that lines blur and rules become easy to break when no one else is watching. From what I've been told, this is what is called like a taboo romance, and I'm like all for that. I love reading, you know, like crazy books. So we'll see if this is good. I've heard a lot of mixed opinions on this book. Some people love it and some people hate it. And for me, I'm like, okay, that makes me want to read a book more because I want to know like what people love about it and what people hate about it. So those are the physical copies of books that I have that I want to read, but those aren't the only books that I want to read for the rest of this year. Okay, so I'm looking at my Goodreads right now, and originally my reading challenge was 50 books for the year, and I'm already at 48. So I definitely think I'm obviously gonna hit my reading challenge. A few series that are also on my list that I would really love to hit this year are the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas, just because I loved the ACOTAR series so much, and everybody says that the Throne of Glass series is just as amazing, so I really want to do that one. And then since I liked Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, and I'm hoping and assuming that I'll like this one too, I would really like to start her Devil's Night series. Everybody says that that series is like incredible, so hopefully that one will be good. And then I kind of think that's it for the year. Between all of my physical books that I have and my books on my Kindle and the different series that I want to read, that is going to be like my reading challenge for the rest of this year. I have no idea how many books that will actually total out to be, but also I just want to say that I will not be disappointed in myself if I don't read all of these by the end of the year, or if I start a series and I don't enjoy it and I put it down and pick something else up. This is just a general idea that I have for myself. And also I just want to say too that you guys should not compare yourself to me or to any other person on YouTube that reads books or whatever. If you read even like 10 pages of a book in 1 month, that is awesome. Some people like me read a lot, and then other people don't really enjoy reading at all, or they read maybe 1 or 2 books a month, or maybe even half of a book, which is awesome, because reading is reading and you should not compare yourself to others. People also ask me a lot too how I read so much, and the answer to that is I'm a very quick reader. Like, I read so fast and I hyperfixate. So once I start a book, it's really hard for me to stop it. Also, I don't really watch TV anymore. So I feel like it's really normal for someone to say, oh yeah, I binged an entire Netflix show, and that was 6 to 8 hours of watching TV in one day. But if you were to tell someone I read a 6-hour book, I read an entire book in one day, they would be like, huh? Like, wow, that's really impressive. But really it's the same thing. It's just a different form of consuming entertainment. And for me, I, at least in this stage of my life, much prefer to read rather than to watch movies or TV shows. Unless if those movies or TV shows were previously books, then obviously I'm super interested. Okay, so of the books that, let me pick up my stack that I talked about today. If you have read any of these, let me know in the comment section below. If you have any books that you are dying to read by the end of this year, also let me know, because I just love learning more about the books that you guys like to read. If you guys like this video, please give me a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I'd love to see you in future content. I hope that y'all are having a fabulous day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!